great vegetables. We're going to do a feeding presentation. This time, if everybody could please take your hands out of the exhibit, and if you're just arriving, you can, you're welcome to come into this area. These are touch tools normally, but for the next couple of minutes, we are going to ask that you please don't touch the animals, and I'll explain why. This is also our only water show at the aquarium, so please make sure if you're not wanting to get wet, it's going to get a little splashy. Take a step back, stay calm.
They have more manners.
Okay, so Beth is going to be demonstrating how we do this, and she has the stick with the ball at the end. That is the target, and then she will place the target into the exhibit, and if the cow nose rays, which are the ones that are doing all the flapping, if they would like food, which they always do, they will bump into the stick. And then Beth will reach in. You'll notice that everybody look at your hand. Notice that your hand does not have a blue glove. Notice that Beth's hand does have a blue glove. And that blue glove is a signal to the fish, in addition to the target, that it's time for eating. So when they see your hand with no glove, they expect to be gently touched on the back. And when they see the blue glove, they expect that they'll have some food offered to them if they would like it. So the food that we are providing for these animals today includes a couple of different kinds of fish. We have one fish called Caitlin that's about this big, and then we chop it up into smaller pieces. There's a smaller fish called silver sides, and then there is some little green cubes that you might see floating around. And those green cubes are a special gel food that we make here on site, sort of like Jell-O that you would eat, except instead of sugar and fruit, it has algae and vitamins.
Kind of like kale jelly.
All right, so the fish that we are providing for these animals today is basically restaurant-grade seafood from a reputable supplier. It's been frozen for about 30 days before we ever give it to the animals to make sure that there is no bacteria or germs that we would be exposing to the animals. Now, Beth is a very brave person, but don't worry, she's not so brave that she's got sticking her hands into sharp teeth. These animals, while they are very closely related to sharks, and like sharks, they have rows of teeth. The teeth are all sort of flat and used as two plates, and they use them to grind and crush up shells. So in wild, they would be mostly on clams and crabs and things like that. You will notice that they have what looks like their, sometimes people think it's their mouth. They drop these little lobes down, and you'll see some pink. Right behind the lobes is their mouth. When they drop the lobes down, it creates a strong suction. And what Beth is doing with her hand, she grabs a handful, and then she reaches under and just sort of opens her hand like that. And then when they drop those lobes down, it creates a very strong suction, and it just goes right into their mouth.
Including my fingers.
Right into the other thing that we have in here, and the epaulet shark right there is doing what I was just about to say it would do. They're known for walking. They use their pelvic and pectoral, the chest fins, those four fins on the side like little feet. We've got the epaulet, and we've also got the white spotted bamboo shark. Those animals are not necessarily going to be coming up to the target, but if they come over, like I was saying with that blue glove, that serves as a bit of a target for them. Sometimes we'll offer them food. The reason that we do this target feeding is so that when I mentioned to some of you that we trim the stinging spine every couple of months, and that ensures that we can get them into an area kind of calmly and without, relatively calmly, into an area without too much stress on the animals when we have to do the monthly checkups and things like that. All right, I would also point out an animal that you may have missed. We've got some little silver perch over there, and the feeding has just begun for them. So this thing is not working well today. So you'll notice that they are feeding on the little bits that are floating around, and they sort of help to clean
the exhibit. They're a very common fish that would occur around here. And in here, they eat on little bits of restaurant-grade seafood. In the wild, if they see a little bit floating along, sometimes that might be a piece of plastic or something like that. So I would encourage you, as you're hanging out in the outer ranks during your time here, try to maybe pick up any beach trash or anything like that that you see. Double, triple check that you're not leaving any trash behind, and then trying to do things like use reusable water bottles and reusable bags instead of single-use plastics can help out all of the animals that you have seen today.
And skip the straws.
Skip the straw. Yeah, if you go out to eat, say before your server brings the drink to you, say we're okay on the straw. And you're a lot of people. That's a lot of straws, and that would be a great thing that y'all could do to help reduce plastics by skipping the straw. Does anybody have any questions about anything that you have seen or heard? All right. No shellfish?
No, just fish.
Just fish. Okay. All right. Now at this time, if you would like to, you can use 2 fingers like this, very gently on the tops of the wings of the stingrays as they come back.